Hello everybody, it is your boy Nando Tech back at it with another video. In today's video, I put apart a $550 gaming PC for Apex Legends Season 5. If you guys haven't heard, Apex Legends Season 5 came out a couple days ago, and a lot of people might want to get into it, and yeah, this is a PC for $550 if you guys want to play it. And if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below which part was your favorite, and let's get right into this video. So for the CPU, I decided to go with this AMD Ryzen 3 1200. This is a quad core CPU. Its core clock is 3.1 gigahertz and its boost clock is 3.4 gigahertz. And it's on the 14 nanometer lithography. And I decided to go with this one because it's a pretty good CPU for under $100. That is not an APU, because on this build I did go with a graphics card, and there's no need to go with an APU. And it's also it has 4 cores and 8 threads, which is pretty good for gaming, but not as well for video creation. And its core clocks are not that high, and its boost clock is not as high as well, but this is pretty good. And the reason was, and also this is like this isn't an above average CPU, but whenever the AMD Ryzen 5 1600 AF comes back to being $85, is that you can get that one. But for now, it's the Ryzen 3 1200, and yeah, it's pretty normal. It comes with a stock cooler, which is pretty good, and it will definitely cool down the system. For the motherboard, set to go with this Gigabyte B450M DS3H. This is a micro ATX AM4 motherboard. This is a pretty good motherboard. It's also $73, and I've also, guys, just before I said you guys say, oh, you forgot to say the price. The price of the CPU is $88, and I had to go with this motherboard just because it is a Gigabyte B450 motherboard, and it has a four DIMMs of 4 memory slots, and it also has a pretty good it has a lot of like ports and all you will need to like game and stuff, and it supports a lot of brand new AMD CPUs, and yeah, it's pretty cheap. It's $73, I believe, and yeah, it's pretty box standard. And it also takes all of these memories, and its memory max is 64 gigabytes. For the RAM, I decided to go with a G-Skill Ripjaws V16 kit, 2x8 3600 megahertz. But like as we just saw, the memory was the max memory was 3200, and this is 3600. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure this would work. I decided to go with a red variant, which is a little bit cheaper than the black variant, and you really wouldn't get to see it that much. And yeah, it's pretty cheap for around $70 if I can get the red variant, but that's fine. It's just $70. But if you really guys don't like trust this memory, then definitely go with the 3200 megahertz from any brand. If you are gonna do this, probably like just get like the cheapest 2x8. Team Vulcan. This one's fine, and that's gonna be like compatible with your motherboard, and you probably have $5 more to play around with, but that's fine. And yeah, this is pretty good memory, 3200 megahertz, 2x8. You will get 16 gigabytes, and yeah, that's pretty good. For my storage, for the SSD, I decided to go with this Team L3 Evo 240 gigabyte SSD. I decided to go with this SSD because it is very cheap for $30, and it's also from Team Group, which is a pretty reliable company, and it's an SSD which every computer should have in these days. And for storage over games, I decided to go with the Seagate Barracuda Compute 2 terabyte. So I had to go with this one because this is a 7200 RPM hard drive, and it's pretty fast for all of our games to boot and download, and it's also pretty cheap for the price of $55. And also every PC should have this hard drive. And for the graphics card, I decided to go with this MSI Radeon RX 550 8GB variant. I decided to go with this graphics card because it's the cheapest. RX 580 and RX 580s give you really good performance, and its core clock is 1257 megahertz, and its boost clock is 1316 megahertz. It's not the highest, but it will have to do, and it's also pretty cheap for $145, and it will definitely pack a punch. For the case, start to go with one of the cheapest micro ATX cases. This is the Aerocool Cylon mini micro ATX mini tower case. I decided to go with this one because I have worked with this case before, and it's pretty cheap for $35, and it will give us a lot of opportunities to work with our cable management, even though it does not have a cable shroud, it does not have a power supply shroud. It is fine, and it's also $30, just pretty cheap. And it comes with an RGB front panel. I mean, not front panel, but like this. Oh, sorry. Finally, for the power supply, I decided to go with this Cooler Master Elite V3 500-watt ATX power supply because it is very cheap for around $50, and it's also from Cooler Master, and I believe this is 80 plus bronze, and it's 500 watts, which will definitely power all build, and it's also pretty cheap. And yeah, guys, this is gonna be the end of the video. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you will always get notified whenever I post a new video. And guys, this will definitely give you 100 frames or more on Apex Legends, which is the theme of the build basically. And yeah, guys, if I'm gonna leave it to here. Good.